All right, good morning. We are live. Welcome to the first edition of the Morning Buzz. I have around town in parentheses because really we're not limiting it to just Templeton. We're kind of including all of the North County. So the Morning Buzz around town is just the first episode. This has been something that has been a passion project of mine for a few months that I've been, trying to figure out how to put this thing together. So I welcome all of you guys for joining me on this adventure. This is a live stream show that's going to be Monday through Friday. And this is really an opportunity for us to connect as a community, to spread the word, to give each other news and information, and also some positivity in the morning. Start your day off right. So my name is Mike Brady. I'm the host for now of the Morning Buzz, and I welcome anybody who wants to become a co-host as well. So send me an email. It's the Morning Buzz, or actually morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com. If you are interested in helping co-host. I have a bunch of people coming on board this week to spread some news and positivity and information. Today's show is going to be fun. We have, as we get ready to get back into regular type life of kids going back to school and hybrid learning and all over the state. We're going to talk a lot of news and information around the high school, around the middle school, and the Templeton and Paso Robles community. So today we have, first up, one of my favorite people on earth. If you guys know this guy, Brent Poppin, he is a motivational speaker and an author. He's going to come on board with us in about 10 minutes and tell us his story. And really, Brent has made a pretty big impact in my family's life. A few years ago when my son got in an accident, Brent came alongside of him and was really just with him in the hospital every single day. And Brent's got an amazing story. He's a quadriplegic, and he was just a stud athlete in high school who just got into a freak accident, and it changed his life forever. But Brent's going to share with us his story and hopefully spread some love and positivity and encouragement your way this morning. Also, we have, who do we have? We have Mr. Mack from the high school. He's the activities director. Mr. Mack sends out a daily sports update via email. And so he's going to be joining us every day at 7:30. So Mr. Mack's going to talk about what's going on the calendar for the high school this week. 8 o'clock, we are going to invite Abby Brady, the ASB president, my daughter, for Templeton High School in. And then she's also going to have joining us Presley Bodenschott, who is the ASB president for Paso Robles High School. So we're going to check in with our ASB presidents at 8 o'clock this morning. 8:15, athletic director for the high school at Templeton, Joe Farley. He's going to join us. He's going to give us kind of the State of the Union in regards to high school athletics, what that looks like for us for the rest of the year. We have obviously been given the green light to proceed with athletics. And so, and then last week they came down and said also indoor activities are going to be taking place as well. So Joe Farley has been working overtime, just really with all the athletic directors in the county to try to make it work. Put schedules together. And I know that from the standpoint of football, because my son plays football, they have been really working hand in hand with all these athletic directors around the county to make sure that these kids have all these opportunities to compete against each other. And so Joe Farley's going to come in and talk about what we can and can't do as spectators in the community, how we're going to keep these kids safe, how we're going to keep all of the volunteers safe, and how we can participate as a community. So Joe Farley at 8:15. 8:30, I'm going to open it up. We're going to start to do a community calendar every day where you guys are going to send me information about what you want to spread the word about. If somebody's having a sale at one of their stores, or if somebody's looking for volunteers for XYZ, right? That's the community calendar portion, but we're also going to have it kind of be interactive. And so I'll be able to post a link onto Facebook where you guys can click on the link and join me on the live stream as well. So that's going to be every day at 8:30ish. I'll give you some news. We don't want to start the day off with a lot of heavy news, but it is important for us to use this platform to kind of spread the word about what's going on. So That's the Morning Buzz. Again, my name is Mike Brady. A little bit about me, if you don't know, I have a couple kids in high school here in Templeton, and I grew up in Paso, so I'm a Bearcat, a class of '95. My wife and I moved away for a number of years and then came back to the area with our kids when they were in middle school, and decided that this is where we wanted to have our kids finish out their high schools. And so glad to be back in the area. I've been back 5 years now, but at 19 years old, I got a job at a radio station, and it's down in LA, and they assigned me to the overnights. And when I was working overnights at this radio station, I was 19 years old, and they said, okay, you're going to get a news feed coming from the East Coast, and this guy's name is Howard Stern, and you're going to record the Howard Stern show and then edit out all the commercials for the West Coast, or take out all the East Coast commercials and put the West Coast commercials in. And so my first job in radio was at the Howard Stern show. And so that's when I knew I absolutely loved the opportunity to, to entertain people and make people laugh and give them escapism. And so hopefully this show does a little bit of that for you guys as well. I moved to Paso Robles when I was 3 years old in 1980 because my dad actually got a job at KPRL. And so I grew up in an AM radio station, literally in the studio. And so always been a fan of radio and communication, and how we can use platforms to just spread information and news and positivity and make people laugh and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's really kind of my overall goal for the Morning Buzz. This isn't meant to be a news talk and opinion show. This is meant to be just a news, information, positivity, and community-driven show. And so I sent out a couple things over the weekend on the Facebook page. And if you haven't liked the Facebook page or followed it, please go ahead and do that. But what I wanted to make sure that you guys knew is that this show is driven by the information that you're feeding me. And so again, anything that you think is newsworthy, that needs to be covered, that needs to be put out in our community, that's what this show is going to be all about. It's us using these platforms to create this environment where we can spread news and information that needs to get out there. And so this week we're going to have, as I said before, we're getting ready to go back to school and hybrid learning. And so there's a lot of information and misinformation that's been out there. And so I wanted to make sure that this week we are, somebody's trying to call in. I wanted to make sure that this week we were using the platform to put it out there and open it up for the district representatives to come in, for the community representatives to come in. And so you're going to have people like Mr. Asplund coming on to talk about, the state of the district and what's going on. And then you're going to have all kinds of different things. Melissa Johnson's going to be in this week to talk about the Parks and Rec Department, what's going on. Hold on. My first guest, Brent, this is real. We're not editing anything out. This is just real time. Brent texted me, do you have that link? It's in email. All right. There's no editing going on here, folks. This is just a one-man operation. It's me. So, yeah, I got in this morning to get this thing going and up and running. And of course, my webcam broke. And so I had to scramble and change cameras and do all kinds of fun stuff. But, that's the beauty of these things, is there's lots of moving parts, and sometimes it's going to go great and sometimes it's not. So we'll see. It's a process, right? We're learning as we go. Mr. Asplund's going to be on. We're going to have somebody from a student from Templeton Drama come in tomorrow and talk about the production that they're doing. We're going to check in with our FFA kids tomorrow as well for Templeton. And then on Wednesdays, I'm looking forward to this because I'm kind of a history guy, but on Wednesdays, we're going to have Mr. Lewis from the high school. He's going to do a kind of a history, this day in history lesson with us every week on Wednesdays. So that's fun. And then Wednesdays at 8:15, that's reserved for our football coach, or actually 8 o'clock. Mr. Coach Crow is going to be in here Wednesdays at 8 o'clock to do like a coach's corner type thing. And so Coach will talk about what this year looks like, how the team's looking, and that's when I do my best to try to pretend that I know how to talk about football because I never played. Or actually, I did play in 7th grade, but that didn't go so well. I ended up becoming the kid that everybody wanted to just line up and just run as fast as they could at and take me down. So that was me. So Joe Barton from Grey Wolf, he's going to be joining us on Thursday. He was the wine person of the year, and so he's going to talk about really the state of the wine industry in Paso and Templeton and the North County, and talk about how the businesses have been impacted and obviously how they've pivoted and made lemonade out of lemons or made sanitizer out of alcohol, I guess you could say. So he'll come in this week on Thursdays. He's going to guest host with me for a little bit, so that'll be fun. And then, like I said, community calendar stuff. You guys feel free to send in all the information that you want to get out into the community. That's what this platform is going to be all about. And so real quick, we've got a few minutes before Brent joins us. I just want to let you guys know today is March 8th. And currently it's about 39 degrees outside. It's a little chilly, and it's going to get up to about 59 degrees today. So sunny, but a little chilly. And then tomorrow it's going to turn into a little cloudy skies and chance of rain, but not too big of a chance. So that is the state of the state. Okay, a little news I wanted to spread out there for you guys today. California has a few of the most charming small towns in California. We didn't make the list. Templeton did not make the list, but there's 3 in the top 20 that did make the list that are local. Cambria was one of them, Los Alamos, and Solvang, I believe. And they said, if I'm getting this correctly, what they judged it on was hold on, I lost my notes. But what they judged it on was women's fashion and the quaintness of the town. And so I just wanted to put this word out to the women of our community. Apparently, according to Pure Wow, we need to up our fashion game as a community. So not sure what that means, but I know that, that's all subjective information. So, take it for what you will, but I'll post the link to that story online as well. All right, so we're going to get joined now by Mr. Brent Poppin. Brent, can you hear me? I've got you on camera.
I can.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Got no volume for you, Brent. Let me see.
Everything looks good on my end.
Oh, there you go. I hear you. I got you. This is
All right.
this is real live stream. Social media. So we're learning as we go. Thank you, Brent, for joining us this morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be on your.
It looks like you're in the car. I want you to drive safely. Where are you headed this morning?
I'm parking to left Paso Robles this morning about 4:30. Children's Hospital.
All right. So just so people that don't know who you are, Brent, we're going to have an opportunity for you to tell your story. But just to kind of set the table, I'll let everybody know that Brent spends every week commuting over to the valley to Madera. And so what he does at Madera is he works over at Children's Hospital and is probably best described as a emotional support counseling and just a big brother and a friend to all of these kids who are at Children's Hospital. Is that a good way to describe, kind of in a nutshell, Brent, what you do over there?
Yeah, I'm a counselor. I've been on staff there for 10 years. So I make the trip over from Paso. It's not yet. We're working on it. I volunteered there prior to me becoming on staff. And after years, people that make those decisions. My was worth bringing on to a paid position, and they offered me a job there, and we've continued to build hours every year, and now we're up to like a full-time, part-time staff member at Children's Hospital.
That's awesome. That's I can tell you the work that you're doing over there. I know firsthand that it is some of the most important work that is being done. And so, Brent, I just personally want to thank you for the role that you've played in my family's life and obviously in my son's life.
Yeah.
And so, if you could, you mind going way back and I guess I've got you described as an author and a motivational speaker, and really I've got 2 books that you've written here in my hands right now. And, I want to kind of set the groundwork and tell the story of how this all came about. And so if you wouldn't mind starting from the beginning, just to kind of set the table.
Yeah, I grew up in Long Beach, Southern California, all my whole life down Long Beach from the time I was 5, and went schools, Big State Elementary, Stanford Junior High School, and then when I was at Milliken High School, and I had transferred there out of my back at that time, you couldn't go to any school, particular school that was in your geographical range. So their baseball program was outside of that, but we figured out to circumvent that, and I ended up going to Milliken just for the baseball program. My junior year at Milliken, I was up in the Fresno Mountains, and up, I don't know, I think about 800 kids from around the state, just up there kind of sharing our stories, making support through our youth group, down in Long Kid that I didn't know, who went to a different school, went to Los Alamitos, boys being boys. We just decided we wanted to goof off, what boys do. And there was no intent. I wasn't trying to hurt him. He wasn't trying to hurt me. But in his chest and picked him up, and we fell over sideways. He landed, and it caught my neck in an awkward position, bending my spine around the C7 level in my neck, which caused paralysis from the neck down.
So
on February, yep.
So basically, just a regular day of boys being boys, messing around. It was you guys wrestling like we all have boys that do this every single day. This was not anything different.
Yep.
And it just happened to you. And E7 was
C7.
Okay.
Yeah, because in your spine you have the cervical vertebrae up towards your neck, and then you have 12 middle of your back, and then you have some lumbar ones. So we kind of just say C level. The middle of your back is your T level. Below your L level. So just kind of the first letter of that particular chord. And the higher up you get hurt on your.
Got it. And so as a result, you're 16 years old and you're a quadriplegic, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. With no function below my shoulders. My dad, obviously, I was up at the church camp up in Hume Lake, in the Fresno. Perfect day. You could get from Long Beach to Hume Lake probably, something like that. But because it was February 18th, it was a grapevine was closed, the roads were closed. So my mom and dad just got a from the first hospital I went to that just said son Brent broke his neck. He has no movement from the neck. We're going to do surgery and send him home. And that was.
So that's the call that your parents got.
That's the call my parents got. Is their disbelief, and they got in the car and got a little bit about it. Obviously, it's a tough subject. Still is a tough subject. You know, close to 10 hours to get up to because of all the road closures and the grapevine being closed. And when they finally got to me, I believe it was the next to arrange a flight transport to get Long Beach Memorial, where I could start my spinal cord rehab to my my group of friends and my.
So describe to me that from the age of 16 to the age of 20, what does that look like for you as a kid in your late teens who's obviously had a life-changing incident?
Initially, obviously, a nightmare. I did perspective into the disabled world who had a disability. I never heard anybody's story. I never read a story on anybody with a disability. So thinking that everything was going to be impossible. Not fleet again. I'm never going to drive a car again. What girl? I'm never going to have a marriage or family. So everything rehab was just everything's impossible. Motivating factor for me, I remember being in the rehab. I was in a wide. It was very, very clear. It was very. I could either, make a right-hand turn and be angry, reach my potential, could take the other route and just work as hard, feel like whatever gifts I have are a blessing, and work to make the world a better place and make it easier for the disabilities. And that was a big motivating factor. School, get my education, get my life experience, able to do what I'm doing now at Children's Hospital, which is giving families hope that there's life after accident or illness that their child's going through.
And so you were a star athlete. You were college bound to play baseball, I believe, and you had everything going for you. This happens, it alters your life. And I'll read the bio on the back of one of your books. You're a USA bronze and gold medalist in wheelchair rugby and tennis. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
So let's talk about wheelchair rugby. What is that like?
And, initially I had no idea about any wheelchair sport, basketball to racing to rugby to tennis, all the stuff I do. And our rehab, and back then it was a 15-inch screen TV, put this video in that was, great, not good quality, but it showed the sport of wheelchair rugby. Back then, the guys were playing in their everyday chair. Every sport has its own specific. So, but anyway, back then, and it's 4-on-4, and it's just about full contact. So you're head on and hit sideways and knocking each other out of their chair to get the ball across the baseline between two cones. saw that initially, I mean, there's a short documentary on my life on YouTube. And my sister says the light in my brother's eyes didn't come on to. And once I saw people getting knocked over on a hardwood, I told the doctor, like, I want to do that today.
That's awesome. I want to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though baseball was going to be my college sport, I still play, and partly, just keep me in shape, but partly just was, my testosterone sport for me, to feel like an athlete during that time of the year. He initially just connected on that football level, were a bit wild, a little bit aggressive, first draw. I wasn't good at it. I was still super weak. A little bit of my fingers and my arms were very weak. I on the court initially, but I saw that there was a chance for me to set goals, and that was along with my education, that in getting me through my darkest times at 16.
And so you married a teacher, and so you've got an educator in the house. You've got a motivational speaker and an educator in the house. And so I would imagine that your house at any given day is just like one of the most happy places to be for anybody who steps into that environment. Because I know teachers, especially on the elementary level, they're a special breed. And so for two people to find each other and make that connection, but also share that love for the youth and spreading positivity, like that's a pretty special thing. So talk about your travels and the talks that you do with all of these schools that you go visit.
So wheelchair sports, as I started to get better, I was asked to be a part of some of the teams for rugby and tennis, and that allowed me to start the world a little bit and see the United States. Kids would come to some of the competitions, and I would start to see that we were making with those able-bodied kids that something that I didn't get to experience when I was a kid. Like I didn't know anybody play in a basketball chair or see what it was like through somebody, and it connected with me very quickly on working in those kids' lives where they could sit in my rugby chair or sit in my story and then take that message back to them and be a little bit more accepting and having else is going through that's different than them. Into wanting to be a school teacher. My wife teaches second grade, and she's passionate, and that she's doing something that she loves to do in the world. She makes in all those lives. So I was kind of getting my education, wanting to be a teacher, trying to make, now setting my goals for the Paralympics, level of competition for someone in a chair. And it's hard because being a Paralympian athlete is just like being an Olympic athlete. And then I was going to school and getting my education, and promised to my mom that I would get my degree, so I would have. And so as I got closer to being a Paralympian, I got credential. I started teaching as a substitute teacher in a district, so that when I need to take 2 weeks off for the Olympics for training or competitions, that opportunity.
Okay. And so you got a USA bronze and a gold medal. And then the other sports that you're involved in, you're water skiing. I saw on your Facebook you're doing some surfing stuff. You're designing surfboards. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we designed 2 team surfers that have designed. We're second generation of a new board that we're hopefully going to demo or this summer. And then what happened with the teaching, when I would start to, the kids just wanted to know about my story. You know, how did you get through these difficult times, and what was your inspiration? So these kids would be so inspired by my story, they would want not to be their teacher, although I think I was a good teacher, but their story. And so some of those kids would go home and have teachers and administrators in different districts. So then I started getting those extending educators saying, hey, you taught my son, but he goes to school in Arroyo Grande at Lewis Elementary. Can you come speak to students on campus? And so I would take the opportunity to do that. A life, an organic life of its own act we were having. And so I just kind of left and started speaking to different campuses from these and the companies because of initially on those students that just wanted to know more about my.
Yeah, I would imagine your story has quite an impact on kids. You know, to see firsthand, real life, somebody who has had one of the most ultimate struggles, right, of coming back from an injury, and going through the emotions of you know, thinking that your life is over as you know it, but then basically being stripped down to nothing and rebuilding yourself into something, an even better version of yourself that you ever could have been before. That's a pretty powerful message to send.
I believe that is usually after the questions usually brought to me that if you could go back to 1990 and choose not to wrestle, would you go back and change what happened? And my honest answer, now, if you ask I have a different answer for you. Not that she's not proud of what I've been able to accomplish. They just have a different perspective. But being the strategies and finding my you know, led me to my wife, who I didn't know before my injury, around the world. I've been at Children's Hospital for 10 years. Is definitely been a blessing. But, you know, a big part of that is the support I had. Had that support, it was easy to take a different path.
Absolutely. Yeah, the support is everything. And speaking of support, when you found out that we were in Children's Hospital a couple of years ago, through a friend of a friend, you basically dropped everything and made yourself available to my family and my son, to just be that support in that time. And again, that had a huge impact on him. It had a huge impact on our family. And everybody I talk to that knows you says the same thing, that you're one of the greatest people on earth. And so I thought it was important to get you on the very first show. I know that we we had texted back and forth a few times getting ready for this thing and changed the schedule, and you've been super flexible with me, so I really appreciate it. I'm going to actually invite into the conversation right now so we can do a little roundtable discussion. Matt McFarland, he's the activities director at Templeton High School. I'm not sure. Do you know Matt? Have you guys met before?
No, I haven't had the pleasure.
So Brent, Matt McFarland is single-handedly responsible for being.
I know the name, but I had.
Yeah, so Matt is he is basically Templeton High School's a spark plug. I guess spark plug is a good thing
on my end.
Oh, are we losing you?
Is that you, Matt?
I wish I had that golden voice like Mike does.
I don't know if Brent can hear us anymore. I think we lost him. You can hear me, right, Matt?
Absolutely.
Brent?
On my end. Oh, okay. I think I'm back now.
Okay. So Mr. McFarland has been tasked with all things activities at Templeton High School and keeping all of the students motivated and spirited over the years.
I'm not picking up anything from you guys.
Still nothing, huh?
I see that my mic went gray, but there's through it. If that helps on your end.
Let's try reconnecting him. Are you back, Brent?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, this is what happens.
I can't hear anything.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. I'll mute Brent. Let me see if I can do that. We can hear you just fine. Oh, that's a bummer.
Live radio shows. This is what you get, right, Mike?
This is what we get. Yeah, exactly. Hey, so I'll just finish up with Brent real quick, and then we'll bring him back on at some point. But so Brent has 2 books available. One of them is called Playground Lessons. It's a children's book. The other one is called Tragedy on the Mountain, and it's actually the story of him. Again, 16 years old, Hume Lake, him and his buddies screwing around, wrestling. He falls the wrong way, breaks his neck, and becomes a quadriplegic. And so the book is really the story of that and how he bounced back and became just somebody who has impacted so many people's lives. And so he's also got a website. He's holding up the book. He's back. He's also got a website. There it is. Yep. And so, Brent, just checking one more time. Can you hear us? I don't think he can. All right. So hugsbybrent.com, hugsbybrent.com, hugsbybrent.com. Brent's available to speak to people, individuals, large groups, small groups. He puts miles and miles on his car every year, going around really all over California to visit and interact with schools. And so again, Brent Poppin, we'll have him back on the show when he's got a better connection. But he's a really special individual, and just a good reminder for all of us that life isn't always going to happen the way you think it will. And so when stuff changes, you have to learn how to pivot and make the best of it. And Brent's absolutely done that and more. So thanks again, Brent, for being on with us today. See you, bud. All right. Mr. McFarland,
Hey, Mike.
Welcome. How are you, sir?
Oh, man. Couldn't be better. So excited to be on the first episode of your show.
Welcome. Yeah, this is an experiment. We'll see how it goes, but you've got the time slot every day, Monday through Friday. This is the Mr. Max show.
Wow.
And, yeah. And so there's no pressure, but I'll just first off say you have an email that goes out daily that talks about the activities going on with the student body at the high school.
Yeah, sports, yeah.
Sports. And so if people want to get onto that, what do? They go.
Well, they could email me and I could sign them up, or if they go onto our Templeton High School Athletics Facebook page, they'll also, if they scroll down a little bit, they'll see a place where they can sign up, and they just subscribe. It comes every morning after a school event, after a athletic event. So we had cross country on Saturday, so there's no school on Sunday. So Monday, today's first day, we are back after an event. So if you were subscribed, you would have gotten an update on how we did, which was great, by the way.
Awesome. Yeah, it came in my inbox. I didn't want to share the news. I wanted you to share the news. So let's dive into it. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of things going on. We got sports that are really picking up, but cross country ran on Saturday. They ran at on our campus, THS campus. We've had a couple meets here, but this is the first year where we've had it, and a great showing. In fact, every single one of our runners improved their time from last week when they ran on the exact same course. Now, last week it was they ran an afternoon race. It was a bit warmer, so that could have something to do with it. But our runners did a great job. In fact, our guys won again. That's 3 in a row. They are 2-0 in league, and they ran against Pioneer Valley. And our top guy came in, as has been the tradition this year, Josh Bell, freshman. Last week, he broke a 13-year-old school record, which was previously for the 5,000 meter run. It was 16:26. He ran in 16:25, and then Saturday he ran in 16:04. So broke his own record that lasted for a whole week. Knocked it off by 20 seconds. Also, Cohen Wallace improved his time by 2 minutes. I mean, that's a huge improvement. So guys won. 23-32, I think was a score. Low score wins. Girls, unfortunately, we had only 4 runners because we have 5 on the team. It takes 5. I don't know if you know about cross country, Mike. I know you know all things sports.
Yes.
But for those who are watching that don't know, it's your team score. You need 5 runners. And we only fielded 4 for our girls. So they couldn't actually technically win because they didn't have enough runners. One of our runners, one of our strong runners, in fact, Ava Lawrence, couldn't make the meet. So, but Maddie Bobbitt for the I don't know how many weeks in a row now, she was our fastest runner and won the race. So we had the last 2 weeks we've swept the top spot with Josh Bell and Maddie Bobbitt.
That's awesome. Yeah, these kids have been just itching to compete, and it's showing, right, in the results.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Mike? It's not just about them running because, I mean, they run well. But one of the things that both the coach at Pioneer Valley, who we just ran against, and the coach from Mission, who we ran against last week, both of those coaches commented to our coaching staff how kind and talented and what great sportsmanship our runners had. If you're up there, there's kind of a special connection between cross-country runners anyways. But no matter what place somebody came in, whether you came in first or last, both teams are cheering for all the runners. We might be cheering a little louder for ours, but we are. They're all about cheering each other on. And cross country is a different sport, man. It is a battle that you run against yourself. And to see those kids get out there, and then they're running hard, they want to win, but then realizing once they finish, they're cheering for everybody else. It's great. It's inspiring.
That's special. That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few friends that run these 100-mile races, and that's a whole nother level in itself. But it is a community that sticks together and helps each other and encourages each other because they're all going through the same physical and emotional battles on that track or on that race course. So, and very few people know what they're going through, and so I would imagine that's something that builds that camaraderie.
Absolutely. And, before, I know, Mike, you and I have talked about this, but they've trained a lot longer this year than they have in previous years. I mean, normally their season is like August to maybe beginning of October or something. I mean, but they've been training for months, waiting for their chance to run. And the coaches totaled up how many miles the team had run as a team.
Practicing?
Yeah, practicing, just running, here, running around town, that sort of thing. Prior to our first meet, they'd run over 7,900 miles as a team. 7,900. Now, try to put that in perspective. That's from here to New York and back and halfway back again. I mean, that's an incredible amount of miles. And just so you know, I mean, this morning I'm looking at them coming back from their morning run right now, and they ran their race on Saturday, and they were out this morning running a little over 7 miles before school, and they were all out there.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive.
So I got into running a little in like 2014. I was living in San Jose, and San Jose has really great weather, and there's no hills where we live. So it was perfect running kind of conditions for me. And I was changing my shoes out every 250 miles.
Yeah.
And so if we calculate 7,900 miles divided by 250, what is that? How many shoes is that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot. But I mean, obviously this is the whole team together, right? One kid isn't running 7,900 miles, but
right.
The whole team.
Yeah. So that's 31.6 pairs of shoes that they ran through. And how many kids on the team?
I'm going to say, let's see, we got 5 girls and maybe 15 guys, 20, I would say.
So it's an average of, let's say, 2 pairs of shoes per kid over the last year, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So for parents of cross-country runners, you guys have spent an average of $400 for running shoes and socks and all kinds of.
Yeah, but they're undefeated in league, Mike. I mean, they're undefeated in league. So that's
worth every penny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I talked to, there's some pretty interesting characters on our team, athletes, and a lot of them are new. We got Josh Bell, who I already talked about, holding now the school record. He's a freshman. Maddie Bobbitt, who is the other one that I mentioned who won in the girls race. She's brand new to cross country, but not new to being an athlete on our campus. She also is a soccer player, and she has played tennis. Last year, she played tennis, and on the JV team, she was undefeated. Quite an athlete. I was asking, I talked to her about, why'd you decide to run? Here's what she said. She said, I decided to run cross country because of the wonderful team environment. And I think that's what you were talking about, Mike. Yeah. Both the girls and the boys team, she said, as well as the coaches, they just radiate positivity. She said, running has always been fun for her, but running alongside wonderful people is what makes it worth it. I just think that shows kind of the character of the kid on that team. Maddie is just a great representative, but you've got other people. This is their first year. I think we have five freshmen. Hannah McFarland, this is her first year. She's a senior, but this is her first year. Maddie Bobbitt, her first year. It's quite a challenge, but it's neat to see those kids out there.
Yeah, that's incredible. You don't think of cross country as a mainstream kind of athletic opportunity for kids in high school, or even growing up in general. But yeah, everybody that I know that has run cross country in their lives, they're a different breed, right? It kind of really trains them for all kinds of things that require perseverance and dedication, and it's a life sport, which is really cool, right? We spend a lot of time as parents teaching our kids to play these sports that aren't life sports, but then you've got life sports like tennis and cross country and golf that really you can do for your whole life. And so I think it's important, and it's awesome that Templeton has that opportunity for kids to run cross country. So talk to me, what's going on? It's T-5 days, T-1 week till we are officially back into hybrid or into hybrid learning for the first time.
Yeah.
And so tell me what's going on with you. What does your week look like getting ready?
Yeah, well, it's
only as an activities director, but as a teacher.
Yeah,
right? What does that look like?
It's an exciting time. I mean, we have been waiting so long to have our students back on campus, and we've had students on campus in one form or another in some voluntary pods and that sort of thing. But to see kids coming on campus next Monday and Tuesday, right? Because we're in a hybrid, so half are coming one day, half are coming the other. We're having our red carpet welcome in front, just like we would if it was a normal first day of school. In our mind, this is the first day on campus, so we're doing the same thing. We've got, teachers are on campus getting their classrooms ready. We did tours last week for the freshmen who signed up. We gave maybe, 60 kids a tour, because even though it's March, some of these freshmen, they don't know where the classes are.
Sure.
They know where it is on Zoom, right? But they don't know where it is on campus. So we gave tours last week, and that was it's just fun to see the kids walking through campus and seeing some of their friends who they hadn't seen in person in a while.
So are the teachers, when you're giving these tours to the freshmen, are the teachers meeting the kids for the first time, or has that not happened yet?
No, it was really the link crew leaders that were giving the tours to the freshmen. Teachers are busy setting up their classes, or they might be Zooming a class right at that particular moment. So it wasn't something we wanted to get in the teacher space as they were trying to do their classes. But they would see them on campus. They could look through the window and wave to them, or if the door was open, say hi. Some teachers came out and greeted the kids kind of based on whatever their schedule was. But there's been a lot of time and effort and planning put in by our administration and the district administration to make sure it's safe, but also an amazingly positive experience for when the kids come back.
So I was actually on campus yesterday with Coach Crow, going through some of the video equipment that they use to film the games, and we walked by Coach James' room, and he was in there rearranging desks, getting them properly spaced out, just prepping his class, getting ready to go. So I would imagine there's a lot of that going on. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And our maintenance team has gone through and helped us set up our classrooms to make sure that they are, the chairs are appropriately distanced, and that it'll be a positive learning environment that the teacher can teach, the kids can learn. And it's just going to be great when they're all back together. Even though it's only going to be half the size of the class, it's still going to be a positive thing, and we'll be having surprises for them at the beginning of school as they come back on campus. But just trying to get some of that school spirit and just that joy in being back on campus and being together.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding like a news show, I don't want to get too heavy into California news, but the governor did last week pass a $6.6 billion package, which our representative Jordan Cunningham was in favor of. And part of this, it says under AB 86, $2 billion will fund safety measures to support in-person instruction. And so personal protective equipment, ventilation upgrades, testing, and then also there's a large portion of that going to help summer school and also mental health and tutoring. So that's kind of cool that we're now seeing what we need to do to get back on track and making things happen. So what's this week look like in terms of activities and sports?
In terms of sports, well, let's see. We've got our undefeated girls tennis team. They are playing on the road twice this week against Santa Maria, both times against Santa Maria. We've got cross country Friday also down at Santa Maria. So we're putting, both of our teams that are currently going are undefeated in league. Guys cross country is undefeated, and let's see what else. We also have swim starting on at least scheduled. I haven't talked to Coach Farley yet, but they are scheduled as I look on the schedule to be swimming against SLO this Saturday down at SLO. So between tennis, cross country, and swim, those are the things that are really taking off in terms of competing this week. But we've got soccer. Soccer has started their practices. Baseball and softball have finished their tryouts. So they're down the pipe a little bit, but not too far down the line, getting ready for that. And sometime this week, Mike, we got to talk rodeo, because we have a rodeo team, and our rodeo team they've been competing so far this year, and we got a couple seniors we want to give a shout out to and kind of share what they've been doing and where they're going. So maybe later on this week we can talk rodeo.
Who can we get to represent them to come on and talk about that with us?
Yeah. Let me.
I know you and I. When you think rodeos, you think Matt McFarland and Mike Brady, right?
Absolutely.
But there's got to be something.
Rodeo clown, maybe. Rodeo clown. That's probably what we got.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to gloss over this real quick. You talk swimming. It's 43 degrees out right now. I'm a terrible swimmer.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I want to do less than swim at 43 degrees. And so that's another special breed of athlete.
Absolutely.
Right. To be able to train in this.
Yeah, but Mike, they are. I mean, let's be honest. The pool is a little bit heated, and they're practicing in the afternoon. But still, what it takes to get out there, it's a lot like cross country, because you're doing it on your own, right? In the lanes, and the number of meters those guys swim is So we're looking forward to swim starting too.
My roommate in college, he was a swimmer for Paso. We both went to Paso together, and yeah, they're freaks of nature. It's just a different person that wants to get in that water and swim. So, hey, I've got at 8:00. What do you have going? I've got 2 ASB presidents coming on.
I hope one's Abby Brady.
One is Abby Brady.
All right.
And the other is Presley Bodenshot. And so Pastor Robles. Yeah. So if you've got time and you want to hang out with us, that'd be great. I don't want to kick you off at 8:00 when they pop on. But I know you've got a busy week, so it's totally up to you. No pressure.
I may let Abby shine in the spotlight without me, and I'll be watching.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I got Brent. Brent Poppin is trying to get back on with us. Let's see if we can make a connection to kind of wrap up that conversation. Brent, are you there?
Yeah, I listened to the whole conversation. I think it's great. That's cool. That's awesome.
We got you cutting in and out. Oh, we tried. We can't hear him at all. What a bummer. Yeah, Brent, we'll get you back on. If you can hear me, we'll get you back on later on this week. Peace, brother. Thanks for coming on. Mr. McFarland, is there anything that we can do as a community to help the Templeton High School activities director?
Our community is so supportive already. Everything we do, it is so neat to see the community come out and support. For example, we had you've already talked about this, the Templeton T-Flag fundraiser. It is so neat to see flags, our Templeton flags, flying at businesses, flying in front of homes. I think it just reminds our students and our community that we're all in this together. Next week, in honor of being back at school, you will see our flags. We got a whole new set of flags that'll be flying down Main Street. These are the same flags that we'll be using at the football game. Man, are we excited about football starting. That we'll be having out there that the kids will be running through. I would just say that if you have the opportunity, because every sport's different, and I'm sure Coach Farley will talk about this, but if you have the opportunity to come out and watch any of the sports, again, there's regulations and all that sort of stuff, but if you fit within the category of being one of those people, you should come on out and support the kids. They've been waiting a long time to play in front of somebody. And our drama starting not this week, but next week. You should come out and watch those guys. They're amazing. I watch them practicing. They're doing Young Frankenstein. They open up the 18th. They put on a quality show, and they're going to be doing it live and in person under the stars. They're doing it outside. Miles Martinelli, JD Black. Come on, you can't miss.
I've got Miles lined up to come in tomorrow to talk to us. So
awesome.
He's gonna pump up that drama production that they have going on.
Yeah, he's such a great guy, such a character.
So the other thing you mentioned was the flags, and so I will post on the Facebook page the link to get the flags ordered. They're $37.50, and so the cool thing about the flags is it's a fundraiser for Culture Initiative. Talk real quick, Culture Initiative in 10 seconds. What is that?
This is a parent support group for everybody who doesn't have a parent support group. So Drama's got a parent support group, which is awesome. FFA does, football does, all that kind of stuff. This group is some really loving, caring parents who do all they can to kind of fill in the gaps for things that might not normally get funded, like motivational speakers or special celebrations or honoring our freshman of the month or things like that might normally just not be able to happen. These are parents that just step up and make things happen for us.
Awesome. And I know those flags, I think the profit on those flags is about $12 or $14 a flag. So I was part of the committee that helped kind of come up with that pricing. And what we wanted to do was make it affordable for as many people to get these flags as possible, but also have enough profit on there for us to just continue to fund those different types of things that Culture Initiative is a part of. So thanks for inviting me to be a part of that, Mr. McFarland.
Absolutely. Anywhere I am, I'm going to say, hey, we should get Mike to join us.
Perfect. Hey, I've got two student leaders that I've got on with us now. You guys can all see each other. Matt, Mr. McFarland, passed the torch to these girls, and they're going to talk from a high schooler's perspective. But we appreciate you joining us. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I just think, great deal of respect for these two ladies who can help lead their schools during a time like they've been through. Anybody can lead when things are going well, but when the house is on fire, that's what shows really what kind of leaders you have. And I can speak, specifically for Abby. She's an amazing leader and has done all she can to try to make this transitional time a positive experience. And I know she's excited to be back on campus and to help welcome our kids back. So I'm sure it's the same for Paso too.
And there's a bit of a rival football game on the horizon between.
Oh man, I can't wait, Mike. I'm sure you already know. Maybe Abby already told you. Oh, don't do it, Mike. Oh no, I knew it was coming.
I have to do it for Presley, but I don't know who I'm going with. It's a house divided.
Yeah, it is.
So,
hey, Mike, I'm sure maybe these girls are going to talk about it, but I'm sure there must be some sort of wager on, whoever wins, the other one has to, I don't know, wear Templeton gear. When
we might set something like that up right now.
Yeah, and I know that this is the first time, I think Coach Crow told me this is the first time Paso and Templeton have ever played each other.
So there needs to be some kind of trophy, right? What is representative of the North County? What's one? Well, besides craft beer or wine, what's a good trophy that we could use?
I don't know. I know we have a plaque with a for the winner of the Morro Bay Templeton game. Maybe there's one we can make, and the ASB president, it passes from ASB president to ASB president based on whoever wins.
I like it
for the year. Cool. I'm sure
All right,
you'll do that, Mike. I'm sure somebody who's watching, maybe they have connections with a local trophy company that would love to get a shout out from you when they make that for the good of the teams.
All right, I'm on it. Let's get it going.
All right.
McFarland, thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Girls, welcome. Are your microphones working?
Can you hear me? Is it good?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Great.
I'm
Is
good.
this the earliest? Is this the earliest you guys have been up in a long time?
Probably. I had to wake up earlier to help my sister feed her lamb too. So.
Okay. So, Presley, just so you know, in our house,
Mhm.
it's very rare do we see the high schoolers out of bed and dressed, ready for distance learning. Is that kind of similar in your house?
Yeah, we pretty much roll out of bed right before class if we're not even up yet. So I don't see my sister until like right after school.
Oh, how funny! All right, so you're. I guess we can get into it. You two know each other, right? We're all friends. Presley, I'm friends with your parents. Grew up with your mom, but you guys have had this connection together as ASB presidents, and when you went through it and got elected as those presidents, it was like the future is bright. We have our senior year. This is going to be amazing. And then all of a sudden, everything shifted. But you guys are still the ASB presidents. And so you've done a good job of kind of creating this mutual bond together and communicating with each other. And I know there's been a lot of challenges. And I promised one of the things getting you guys on this show would be to not say the C word. And talk about all of that. But let's talk about the future. Presley, are you guys back in school?
We go back on March 16th, so in a week.
Okay. And Abby, you guys go back when?
The 15th.
15th. Okay. So by the end of next week, it's going to be semi-regular senior year, right?
Yes and no. It'll be hybrid. That'll be weird.
So talk about what some of the things that you girls are doing with the student bodies through the rest of the school year. And obviously, athletics and activities play a huge part in school spirit and the student running of the schools. And so that's kind of a little morphed into something new. But like, what are some of the things that you guys are doing specifically at Paso, Presley, to just kind of make the most out of the rest of the year?
Well, it's so up in the air right now because like of tiers changing. So we have to make like a plan for every tier. When we go back, we have like some fun St. Patrick's Day stuff planned. Most of it's virtual right now. So we have some like video competitions. We're going to have like a lip sync music video battle kind of thing we're going to do. It's really just getting us back into the classroom so we can plan together, I guess. And then we're going to focus on like the sports starting up again because all the athletics are doing their tryouts this week. And so we're going to put an emphasis on that too.
Awesome. And then Abby, what about you guys?
So far, all we really have planned is our back to school welcome. I think we've kind of left past ideas around. But we don't want to start planning anything too soon and then not be able to follow through with it. So we have our first day of school red carpet welcome, which we get to do 2 times.
That's great.
Yeah.
So your school is basically splitting up into 2 different, what do they call them?
Cohorts.
Cohorts. Yeah, so opposite days to kind of limit the amount of people on campus, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And Presley, you guys are doing the same?
We do have 2 cohorts, but they're all on the same day. So we're gonna go 4 days a week, Monday being online for everyone, and then the first cohort will go in the morning, and the second cohort will go in the afternoon.
Sorry, my phone was ringing.
Yeah, so we'll have like each cohort goes every day for Tuesday through Friday. It's just morning versus afternoon.
And Abby, is Templeton going to school on Fridays?
Yeah, so we have Wednesday online, and then cohort A goes Monday and Thursday from 9 to 12:45, and cohort B goes Tuesday, Friday.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, and then so now kids are already trading cohorts with each other, right? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to try to hook up with the people that you're friends with and the groups that you hang out with.
Yeah, I've had kids because they had to like request. So like a bunch of people just said that like they work after school, so then they could be in the morning or something.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of excuses like, oh, we carpool with so-and-so, so we have to go with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah, that's all right. We as parents did the same stuff, so we totally get it. I'm not encouraging children to lie, but sometimes you just gotta make it happen. Okay, I've got 4 minutes left with you girls. I do want to do this trophy thing.
I'm kind of down.
That'd be fun.
I mean, what day is the? Hold on, let me get the schedule. Do you guys know what day the?
Definitely don't.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Let's see. Try to pull it up. I had it up and I lost it. Yeah, I think there needs to be some type of trophy that represents the North County.
Oh, Paso is our senior night. Oh,
Yeah.
and it's at home. April 16th.
Okay. April 16th. What is something that is representative?
I don't even know.
Would it be like a grape bundle, like a bushel of?
No, that doesn't really represent the kids. I feel like it has to represent.
Yeah, true.
North County kids.
What do we all do?
Well, we do nothing. How
How about a boot? Let's do a boot.
You could.
That'd be kind of cute.
The bronze boot.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's do a bronze boot. Who's going to get the bronze boot? Okay, we're just starting this right now. Girls, take notes. The bronze boot, the first annual bronze boot, is up for grabs. Paso versus Templeton. The winner of the game gets to keep the bronze boots at their school for the full year. But then we're assuming that we're going to play each other again at some point. But maybe we don't next year, but the year after. So who's the athletic director for you guys, Presley?
Her name's Tori Loney. She's also the cheer coach.
Okay.
She's new.
So we'll get a hold of her. I've got Coach Farley coming on at 8:15. We'll get a hold of her and then obviously the football coaches. But I think we do need to do the bronze boot.
I'm friends with our football coach too, so I can talk to him.
Who's your football coach?
Matt Carroll.
Oh, we love Matt Carroll. He's a
Yeah.
great guy. Awesome. He's a
Mom,
good
Tom, and kid. They are in the same league. What does that mean?
Oh,
Probably the
Paso
second
and
league.
Templeton are
Because that's why we
They
didn't
are in the same
before,
league.
because we were in like different leagues and divisions and whatnot.
Say
Yeah.
it one more time.
We didn't play each other before because we were a bigger school, I think, and we were in a different division.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So the bronze boot is going to be up for grabs. It says there are problems connecting to the host. Coach Farley is trying to get on. Let me do it one more time. Send him the link. Girls, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to drop off for a second.
Okay.
So what's going on this week, girls?
This week, not much happening. There's.
Do you guys have orientations, Abby?
Yeah, we've been giving freshman tours, and then I think we're doing orientation within the two cohorts. So,
our freshman orientations tomorrow.
ooh,
I
that's
don't
so exciting.
think it's interesting because they have to do like 2 different cohorts.
Yeah, freshman orientation's the best.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, because they want Link Crew to do something, but I don't know if we will. We're meeting online with them today, but I don't know if we'll be in person.
Yeah. What teacher are you most excited to see next week? Ooh.
Are people asking you questions?
Yeah, Mom is.
Mom. Oh, Mom.
I don't know.
I've seen all the teachers that I like.
I know. Me too. I'm excited to see.
All right, here, Coach Farley's on. Let's drop this news on him real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Mr. Farley, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Hey, while you were out, just want to let you know that the ASB presidents for Paso and Templeton have made an executive decision. They're going to create a bronze boot, and that's going to be the trophy that's passed back and forth between schools. Just want to get your buy-in before we actually go make this bronze boot.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
I actually don't know. It has Templeton and Paso. What's the history of those two schools? Do you know?
Actually, I do know a little bit because at the middle school, I forget whose classroom it has, but they have I think it's Senor Jimenez. And in his classroom, he has the Templeton High School football game schedule from 1980 something rather. So maybe you know.
Whoa, I was 90s. Yeah.
So they did play. They did play during that time. I don't know. It might have been around Bear McGill's time at Templeton, and we were also playing Coast Union and all that stuff. So maybe it was just 8-man. But as far as recently, this would be the first matchup recently. So,
and so we're in the same league moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future.
in football.
Yeah, in football. And
Yeah.
so the bronze boot theoretically could go start this season and then next fall be transferred to the winner or keep it at Templeton because we've won 2 in a row. Presley's like, wait a minute.
No.
All right, so do we have to get clearance from anybody or present this to anybody, Mr. Farley?
Shoot, I'm not totally sure. I know we have the Clash of the Coast trophy that goes back and forth between Morro Bay and ourselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with us not playing them this year, just because of the 2 different leagues, we get to hold on to that trophy for an added year. So, but I remember when that one was made or produced back in the day, it was, I think it was just a dad or community member. It was Vic Coons that constructed it. I think Coach Crow, helped develop that. And so, Coach Crow would probably be the one to get the whole history on the trophies. And, Mission Prep's another big rival of ours, but we don't have any trophies with them. So I think it's a good added bonus for kids to play for something within the season.
Totally. All right, and I'm going to make shirts that say, I want the bronze boot or something like that. I'll sell them out of my trunk. It'll be a fundraiser. It'll be a good thing. All right, girls, I'm going to let you guys go. Congratulations on hybrid learning kicking off next week. And I want to check in with you guys every Monday through the rest of the year to make sure that you guys are keeping your student bodies on track and staying motivated and positive. And again, it starts with the top, the leadership on top, and you guys set the tone for the entire school. So thank you for being great representatives for your schools. And we will talk to you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye, girls.
Can't wait to keep the bronze boot, though. Just saying.
Yeah, bring it. See ya. All right, Joe, how are you, sir?
Doing good. Got rested up this weekend, so that's good because in a matter of we're just about up and running on everything right now, but in a matter of a couple weeks, it'll be full steam ahead. And Archie and I got cots set up in the gym, so we'll be sleeping overnight at the high school, and we'll also be campus security. So
great, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good. I was on campus yesterday with Coach Crow, and we got all the sideline camera operation kind of dialed and getting ready for the first football game. And so very exciting to be on campus. It's the first time I've been on campus in months. And so, I'm super pumped for you guys to just be back in action. Obviously understanding that it's in a different kind of limited capacity and situation. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the very first show to kind of explain to the community the state of athletics, not only for our high school, but for the county, and then maybe throughout the state as well. Obviously, speaking on behalf of what you know, but Matt McFarland and I talked last week about cross country, for instance, and as a community member, obviously not being able to go onto campus. Is there an opportunity for us to park somewhere in the community to watch these kids running a race? You know what I mean? So like those types of questions, I'm sure the general population in the community wants to know the answers to, and obviously you can only answer what you know. But I figured I'd just turn it over to you. You can kind of give us the lay of the land, what athletics looks like from here on out, at least for the foreseeable future, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah, so kind of what's going on right now at Templeton High School in the athletics we got. We had our first boys soccer practice last Friday. We have our first girls soccer practice today. So with those two sports coming on, we have every single outdoor sport that we offer all participating right now. So it's good to see that many kids all back doing what they love to do, and it gives them a chance to interact with their friends and get some good training. So that's good. We have competitions for just about all sports. Either they've already started, like you touched on. We had cross country already going, and we have girls tennis that's off to they're off to a great start. So those two teams are already competing. We got football coming on the middle of this month. Soccer, both boys and girls are going to get started by before April. So we're kind of full steam ahead on the outdoor sports. So it's exciting times, very busy. As far as, I know that we have a successful cross-country team right now. We have a boy that's won every race, and then we have a girl that's also won every league race that we've had so far. So it's an exciting team to come out and watch. Unfortunately, we can't have the whole community up and on campus, but we do a portion of the race on South Main Street. So, we kind of stop traffic. So there is a little bit of a viewing option for people if they want to come out and catch a good race. We have one more home meet against St. Joe sometime at the end of this month. So that would be kind of our last option to watch them live. We played around this last week on doing YouTube Live for the students while they were running in the race. Kelly Bobbitt, community member and a coach, was very helpful with that and worked along Mr. Mack. So we're trying to get that up and running for those kinds of sports that take place all throughout. So we're working on options to provide people to watch.
Is there a Templeton High School Athletics YouTube page?
I believe that they went through the Templeton High School YouTube.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I don't know much about the live streaming option through YouTube. Maybe Mr. Matt can elaborate further on that when we have him back on. So I'm not sure exactly. We posted on the Templeton High School Athletics Facebook page before to try and get that out there. We did have some problems during the girls' race when they went first. So I think we lost the link, and then we added it back up on the internet somewhere at another link. So it's another opportunity for us to learn on how to do it a little bit better next time. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, as we all kind of introduce these new technologies to try to adapt to a new reality, it's definitely tricky. My webcam that I use for this went out this morning about 5 minutes before I had to go on, and so I had to adapt and figure something else out. But here we are. All right, so we're getting some messages. Let's see. Mendy Swan says the bronze boot battle, eagles' wings and talons versus bearcat claws and teeth. I love it. She says that could be a fun tradition. Mendy's a school board member and a bearcat alum. That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of, the North County schools have a lot of ties to each other. So
there
will be a lot of interest when those games go off.
For sure. Yeah. And in regards to that, because it is a kind of a year where we've kind of made some changes to spectators and rules and regulations to keep everyone safe. Maybe you can speak to, I guess we can start with baseball, right? Baseball has 30 some odd games. I think, what is it, 34 games?
They cap out at 28, but with double headers, you get a little bit more than that here and there. So
if I'm a community member and I don't have a family member playing, is that going to be live streamed, or what are the thoughts on that?
Yeah. For those sports that we kind of generally charge admission for, we do have a live streaming option. And, the other sports that we charge admission for would be like the indoor gym sports and football, baseball. So we did partner with NFHS Pixelot. I'll be sending out a link here within the next week on information to kind of create an account there. And it's actually a pretty cool technology. Anything that takes place at the gym and down on Volunteer Stadium, it kind of auto tracks the action. It loops in the score there too. So you kind of constantly know what's happening, the time of the game. So that's going to be pretty exciting. There's even options for some sort of advertising, for our local businesses that want to get involved. We can offer something like that. So a lot more information is going to come out about that. And, we were talking about baseball. We're also going to look there's a manual production option for baseball because it takes place down at Vineyard Athletic Park. So all of those sports that are generally charged admission for will have the Pixelot option. And you can sign up for a year-long account or a season-long account. It's like $60 or something like that. So it'll be a good one.
And I don't want you to speak out of turn. Maybe you don't know the answer to this, but so if let's say I pay a fee to have an account, and as a portion of that coming back to the school programs?
Yeah. So a little portion of that, they have a monthly payment option, or, you can save a little if you purchase up front. So both of those options do have a little bit coming back.
That's great. Yeah, I know, at least from a booster standpoint, we've, obviously had to think outside the box and try to come up with creative ways to continue to, have money coming in to support these programs, knowing that they are coming back and there's going to be some added, maybe some added costs in some regards, just to make sure that these kids are safe and we have the opportunities available. So, okay, so we've got last week, the announcement came down that indoor sports are now able to be played. And so can you talk about what sports are going on right now or the indoor sports that will take place throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah, so there was an announcement last week and kind of came out of little bit of left field. We're still working through all those challenges. There was a big change to the youth sport guidelines, which is what we've been following up to this point. So they've kind of pivoted those youth sport guidelines to follow professional and collegiate sport guidelines in California. So that's just a whole other layer that I'm working through and trying to understand and figure out all the testing requirements, how many times we have to get tested, and what kind of tests are appropriate. So there's still a whole lot of work to be done. And then on top of that, it's finding out which schools in our league or in our area are also going to be offering these sports. So there is hope and there is guidelines out there that kind of open up the door. It's just a matter of working through all those guidelines and making sure that we're returning in the safest way possible.
So how many group texts are you a part of with different athletic directors and coaches and administration?
Yeah, quite a bit. So it's hard to keep track of. That's just the text messages. The emails are a whole other thing. So it's busy times. There's a whole lot of work to be done. Luckily, our administration here has been great, trying to get everything that we possibly can back. And they've supported me in my new role, just to help out any way they can. And then also within the league, we have very experienced athletic directors that have kind of also taken me under their wing. And I joke with them that they better answer my phone call every time I call, because I got a dumb, silly question for them, but I appreciate when they answer it. So I've got a lot of good people around me. I got great coaches, coaching staff that's been around for a while, and really successful coaches, really successful, talented athletes, which makes the job even easier. So surround yourself with good people, and we'll be all right. So we're just we're working through it all.
Absolutely. So if you could just paint a picture of what it looks like, for instance, when we got the green light to start sports, I mean, is it 24, 48 hours after that of just constant conference calls, Zoom calls, communication with the county, and like how are we deciding who's going to play and what schools we're playing, and is it, or are you guys all like, what does that look like?
Well, you say 24, 48 hours as if there's like then it goes silent after that time. I mean, it's still continuing on to this point. We were working on, Coach Crow and myself, once we got the green light for football, we just kind of locked down our schedule last week. So that's 3 weeks of trying to come up with a schedule for just football. And that's only 7 games. I mean, they have the least amount of games out of anyone. So kind of gives you a little bit of insight. The league as a whole, we kind of try and do things together. So we meet pretty frequently, especially if there's any kind of groundbreaking news out there that comes out. We all kind of prioritize getting together. And, John Andre, the athletic director of Morro Bay, he's kind of been doing all the league schedules for us. So it takes off a lot of pressure when a league schedule gets published by John, and we all vote and approve that and move forward. So it's not just 24, 48 hours, and then I get to kind of kick back and Archie and I go, oh man, that was fun. It's every day we walk in, there's this team doesn't have a JV team, or, we got to do it at 4:00 instead of 3:00, or, there's a whole bunch of stuff every day that has to get figured out. So it's a lot of work.
Can you give the general guidelines? Maybe you have this answer at your fingertips, maybe you don't, but for an athlete that wants to play 2 sports, and we've got condensed seasons, what are the general guidelines for those athletes?
Yeah, that's great that we can address this on here, because for 2 sport athletes or athletes that are interested in participating in 2 sports, originally I was having them just email me. I've tried my best to kind of keep up on that. That's a whole other part of the day that I have to work through, and they kind of just reach out to me, let me know, hey, I'm interested in tennis and track, or whatever it may be, soccer and track. Then from there, I kind of figure out the schedule that kind of would work for them, including practices and games. The important thing is, we want to make sure that there's still that at these practices, that's when a lot of this teamwork and camaraderie and, the best output of the field gets shown on a game day. So we still prioritize our practice days. I work with the coaches, the coaching staffs. We kind of all agree on something that could possibly work. And then, once we have that in place, then we reach out to the parents and let them know, hey, this is kind of the schedule that we've built out. If this works for you, then we can make it happen. If there's any conflict, it's just probably, some sports aren't going to lend themselves to be played at the same time. And that's kind of the unfortunate thing in all this. But, we still want to prioritize practicing together and working as a team. And then the games would be second to that. So I'm in the process of actually creating a Google form, just because it's a little bit easier way for me to track everything, and it's a one-stop shop. So I'm creating a Google form, and then I'll reach out to Mr. Aston, and hopefully he can send that out on his touch points tonight.
Awesome. Yeah. Part of what we want to do with this platform and this show specifically is give you guys this opportunity to address on a weekly basis any changes, anything that you want to get out to the general public as fast as possible. Because what I'll do is I'll take the interview between you and I and chop it up into just its own segment, and that'll live on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, so it can be gone back to reference. And so, I want to make sure that you guys understand as administrators that this is also a good place for you to send out that touch point bulletin, on a weekly basis. And so, especially now because it's changing hourly, right?
Yeah, I mean, it changes daily, and you kind of talked about the boosters and all the creative ways that they're doing, creative things that they're doing. But I spoke with the athletic booster president on Friday, and I called her as I was walking in and said, hey, we got a small change, so bear with me as we work through it, because you say one thing on Monday and Tuesday evening when you're getting ready to head home for the day, and it changes again. So
well, the good news is the baseball snack bar isn't in complete disarray. It's dirty. It just needs a little elbow grease. But yeah, we were over there on Friday afternoon, and that's a good point that you bring up. Is there's people wanting to know if they're if they don't have family members playing, but they want to watch the games. A great opportunity for them to watch the games is to become a volunteer, because Boosters is in need of people to work snack bar. I'm sure there's other needs that are popping up. I happen to have a student playing football, but I raised my hand to volunteer to film the football, because I wanted to be making sure that I'm on the sidelines watching the games too. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of opportunities for community members to get involved and help in a volunteer capacity.
Yeah, definitely. I would strongly suggest to anyone out here that wants to kind of get involved a little bit more is to reach out to Athletic Boosters. We actually have a meeting tonight, so if you're interested in that, we can get that information to you some way, somehow. They have a Facebook page as well, so that'd be kind of the first way, and you can volunteer to help them out. They're a big part of the athletic program here at Templeton High, so that's a big help. And yeah, the last couple of cross country meets, we had some student volunteers as kind of course directors. Matt McFarland kind of pooled some students together, and I begged and pleaded, and they came out and helped us on a Saturday morning. They all got there at 8:30 and kind of were there to point the runners in the correct way. So there are some volunteer options, because it's not going to be the normal thing. So we need any additional help that we can possibly get. And so if you're interested, I'd start out with Boosters and volunteering your time through them. Yeah,
and so that meeting is tonight at 6:30?
They start at 6, but sometimes there's the chalk talk for the half hour before. So I guess the meeting gets called to order at 6:30 maybe.
So then they'll post that information on their Facebook page as far as the Zoom goes.
Yeah, and we have a little link on our athletics website. It's under Athletic Booster Club, I believe. So you can go there, and there's an email on there for them, so you could reach out directly to them. Also to kind of get a Zoom link for that.
Okay. A couple last things, and then I'll let you go. I know I said 15 minutes, and we're going on 25. But real quick, just give us this is a lot of parents' first time putting a face to the name with the athletic director. You're new in your position. This is your first year. Is it first year or second year? I can't even keep track.
First year.
Give us a real quick bio. Who is Joe Farley? And then obviously end it with the best way to get a hold of you. And like I said, I know that you're slammed with everything, so that's why I say the best way to get a hold of you. But real quick, tell us about yourself.
Joe Farley. I graduated from Templeton High School, class of 2011. I played football and basketball in high school. Now I play a whole lot of golf. So that's kind of my sports involvement. I worked at Templeton High School for, a couple years before this position in the WISE tutorial program. So I know a lot of the kids already, which is a great deal. When I was I think I've been directly involved with Templeton High School athletics since probably fourth grade, when those teams back in the day had Coach Reynolds as the head varsity football coach. I always threw my name in the hat to be the ball boy or the water boy. I did that all the way through Coach Crow my 8th grade year. That was a fun time. I got to leave class a little early and be involved with the football team on away games. Then came to high school, played athletics. I went to school, Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, Arizona, studied business management there. So a little bit of a business background, did some internships in San Diego, worked in small family-owned and operated wineries, worked in a large kind of corporate-style vineyard and winery. So got a deep business background, but I love athletics. So when this job kind of presented itself, I really, it was kind of something that I always thought that I wanted to be a part of. So it's kind of a dream come true to be kind of the head of Templeton High School athletics. So that's kind of the quick blast. I guess I also, as far as a coaching experience, I coached since the day I graduated from college. I filled up my old Ford Ranger, drove back home to California, and reached out to Coach Dan Loney and said, "Hey, you need any help?" And we're always looking for a volunteer coach. So went to that first practice the next day and kind of fell in love with coaching. So coached for about 5 years, high school football at the varsity level. And so that's a little bit of my coaching experience.
That's awesome. And if we want to get a hold of you, if parents want to get a hold of you, you're going to send out a Google form at some point, but what's a good contact email?
Yeah. For sports specific questions, I would encourage to contact the head coach, because he'll be a whole lot quicker if it's something that's specific to soccer or football, basketball, volleyball. But if you have kind of a general overview question, or you're wondering if your athlete's cleared, you could reach me by email, jfarley@templetonusd.org. But if I would encourage you to check with your head coach first, because they'll be a whole lot faster most of the time.
Awesome. All right, Coach Farley, we appreciate you coming on today, and hopefully next Monday you'll join us again.
Yeah.
Give us the state of the state.
Yeah, well, it'll be full steam ahead next Monday. So
That's right. Good deal. All right. Well, we really appreciate your time.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Have a great week.
You too.
Thanks. See ya. Bye. All right. That was Joe Farley. He's the athletic director at Templeton High School. And so he's obviously had quite a bit of a challenge over the last year as we've gone through the situation that we did go through. Started with the cancellation of games in March, and then it trickled into cancellations of seasons, cancellations of practicing, and then trying to regroup and reorganize as a community, as an athletic community in the state, in the county, and with all the schools. And so he's obviously had a trial by fire in his first year as the athletic director, and as a parent of a high school athlete, 2 high school athletes, and a high school coach. I'm not a parent of a coach. I'm a husband of a coach. But as somebody that's tied to the athletics, I can tell you personally, I'm very appreciative of the job that Coach Farley and all of the coaches and administration have done at Templeton High School and Templeton schools. Special appearance by Abby Brady. She's coming into the booth right now. Come say hi to everybody. She wants to tell me something.
Do you have my phone or my computer charger?
It's in the living room.
Okay, thanks.
I stole her computer charger overnight. So that's what we do. We steal things from each other and give it back. So if you guys are like me, chargers are a hot commodity in the household. Never a day goes by where you go to plug your phone in and your charger's missing from where you thought you had the charger last. But in any event, Ben Swan, thanks for the comments on the page. I do believe we still need some help on the sidelines. I'll check with Coach Crow, but yeah, man, I would absolutely love if there were more people that wanted to volunteer. Shoot me a DM on Facebook, or send me an email, or send me a text, and I'll make sure that I get your name thrown in the hat for people that are wanting to volunteer. I know the boosters are really looking for people to work those snack bars. Tonight at the meeting, on the booster meeting, hopefully we have Melinda or some representative of the athletic boosters that can join us tomorrow to give us more of a rundown of what we can expect from a snack bar level. Granted, I know we're not going to have the same, capacity of bodies at these competitions and these games, but there are going to be opportunities for people to be there on site and purchasing snacks. And so I heard rumors of most of the snacks and the food available obviously are going to be prepackaged. They're going to be presented in a way that's going to be safe and conducive to just keeping everybody safe as well. So the boosters meeting is tonight. I'll go ahead. I'll do some research and see if I can post a link to their meeting on this page, so you guys can join in the athletic boosters meeting tonight as well. But again, if I can, I'll get somebody that represents the boosters on the program tomorrow to kind of run through what it looks like from a snack bar / spectator athletics level, so we can get some more answers. But here it is. We're 10 minutes out from ending the first show, the first edition of the Morning Buzz. I really appreciate all of the participation that we've had so far, all of the viewers that jumped in to just catch a guest or two and contributing on the chat board as well, the commenting. It's this show, when I started and I had the vision for this, it was meant to be a virtual platform for us as a community to come together to really share information and news, and also create a positive environment that allowed us to interact with each other, to get information from people in the community, to start the morning off on a positive note, and just share life together, right, in a virtual environment, and have the opportunity to have our own community platform to spread news and information. And so this isn't going to be one of those shows where I'm going to give you 5 minutes of national news and then talk about my personal opinion and what I think, it should be. But I do certainly want to give you news and information that I think is pertinent to you living your daily life. So I'll have a community calendar that will be presented from time to time, talking about different activities and events that are going on throughout the community. We'll go from there. It's going to be a evolving thing, right? And we're going to try things out on the show that might work, and we're going to try things out that might not work. And so we'll go from there. This is me really lending my time and resources I have available to putting this together to create this platform. And like I said, this is our community platform. This isn't a school, endorsed, sanctioned thing. This isn't a community sanctioned thing. This is just a private citizen who's putting together this media outlet to try to bring together all of this information to share to as many people as possible. And so I welcome the involvement by the community, by parents, by staff, by public servants. I welcome all of you guys to participate as much or as little as you want. I am going to have a spot where we do some public comment, and so I think once a show, I'll paste a link into the comments section of the Facebook and invite you guys an opportunity for you guys to jump on board. In fact, I'll do that now. And so the link is sitting there in the chat if anybody wants to jump on board for some public comment. Again, I would encourage you guys to make sure that the rules around public comment are going to be keep it positive, come with solutions, right? And also come with information that you think that the community could benefit from. There's plenty of platforms and opportunities for you guys to go and give your opinions and negativity and anger and all of that. And this just isn't that, and I don't want it to be that. So I do risk it turning that by giving people access to be able to come on. But that's a chance I'm willing to take because I do want it to be our platform. And so I'll turn into the last 15 minutes of the show having it be kind of a public community forum. So if you'd like to join in with the conversation right now, if you have any questions, if you have any ideas or thoughts, please feel free to either comment or you can click on the link and share the screen with me right now, and we can do this live. So it's totally up to you guys. The sun's out. Just real quick, it's going to be about 59 degrees today. It's March 8th. Today is actually my old roommate and one of my best friends. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jeff. If you're out there watching, Jeff's over on the East Coast, and so he's probably eating some lunch right now. But it's already March. This year has just flown by, and we are getting ready to pack in 9 months of school and activities and sports into the next 3 months. And so myself as a parent, I'm super excited. I'm excited for these kids to get back into a learning environment with each other, with teachers in person as much as possible, keeping everybody safe, obviously, but really looking forward to it. It's been a long road, a tough road in our house, especially. I'm sure I'm not unlike any of you guys out there. We've had a really difficult time since last March in our house with adapting to the situation and trying to understand it and make sense of, how we are and why we are doing the things that we're doing as a community, as a society, as a country. It's been tough, and it's going to be a long road ahead to kind of break out into a new normal and being able to go out every day with a positive attitude and move forward, right? Because we've At least, again, I'm speaking from my house in particular. We've gotten ourselves into a spot where it's been extremely difficult to stay motivated as a family, as students, as parents, to give our kids the motivation that they need on a daily basis. And granted, there's probably a lot of parents that do know, how to do it way better than me. But I just speaking from myself personally and my wife, and all I can say is we've put a lot of pressure on ourselves over the last 6 months as parents, and we've probably been a lot harder on ourselves than we've needed to be, because we're watching our kids and we're watching our communities and having a really hard time with it, and we're putting the blame on ourselves for a lot of it. And I tell myself all the time, I need to be a better leader in my household. I need to do something more to motivate my kids to do a better job of wanting to do life the way we're doing life right now. I need to do more as a parent to get my kids out of bed, to get them to eat right, to exercise more, to get them to study more, to get them to get more vitamin D. Like, I've just caught myself doing this time and time again over the last year, and it's taken a lot. But I've realized, we've been too hard on ourselves as parents, and I think now it's March, the sun is shining, it's a new day, it's an opportunity for these kids to get back into a new environment, and it's time for me as a parent to change that page, turn the page, new chapter, start fresh. Don't be so hard on myself. Do the best that I can every single day as a parent, but understand that, we're all human beings and we're all in this together. And I know for me personally, me being a part of a community that is supportive, that is loving, that is positive, that's the most important thing that I can do. And probably the best thing I can do as a parent is put my kids and my family in that type of community to give them the best opportunity. And so I feel like that in the North County, we've done that. Templeton, Paso, Atascadero, the North County area, I feel like is a very special place. And I felt like that since I was 3 years old, since I've been here. Now, granted, I wanted to move as fast as I could when I turned 18 or graduated high school. I wanted to get out of here, but I'm sure glad that I came back, because again, it's a very special community and area to be a part of. And I know we all feel that, and I know we all want what's best for the community and for our kids. We just got to stay positive and loving each other. So that's my soapbox for the day. If you want to get a hold of me, I'd love for you guys to send me any information you want to get out to the general public. If you've got, I see Kim Walker, you posted on the message. Oh, thanks for the message, Kim. But that's a great example. Kim, if you've got something going at the winery that you want to get the message out to the general public, by all means, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, DM, however you want to get me that information. I want to use this platform as a community kind of public forum. And so send any stories, any information. If you want to be on the show, send me a note. It's I'll give you the email address right now. Let me pull it up here. I should know this, but I don't. It's morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com. morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com. You can also send a Facebook message to the Morning Buzz Around Town Facebook page. It's on YouTube also. There's a YouTube channel called the Morning Buzz Around Town. And then the show's over at 9 o'clock. And so what I'll do, because Instagram does not allow you to take the live feed and dump it onto Instagram real time, what I'll do is I'll take the shows right at 9 o'clock and dump them onto Instagram as well. So you'll be able to play back the show and go back. I'm going to try to start chopping up all the different segments and interviews too that you can pull from. If you wanted to just go on and see Coach Farley's message, you can click on his thing individually as well. So that's it. That's the first 2 hours of the Morning Buzz in the bag. And again, I just want to thank everybody for watching and listening today, and hope everybody goes out there today and has a great day, and take some time to soak up that vitamin D, because it does wonders. And that's it. Have a great day. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. See you guys.